All right. We gave you guys a little bit of excitement for a Monday night. But this is what I will say about this group. I'm extremely happy from the standpoint of this. I've been here 2 years. We would have lost this game before. So sometimes in getting better and being able to catch guys' attention, you need stuff like this to happen, but you want it to happen where you still get the win. And so I think tomorrow we'll have everybody's attention, because I think that sometimes what happens is that you can get full of yourself and you don't think that you got to do the things each and every day that make you successful, the attention to detail, understanding the assignment of who we are as a team and the things we've been working on. And, sometimes it goes on a deaf ear until you get into a live game. And I seen some of that today. But again, to their credit, what I was proud of is the resolve. I thought we made a lot of big defensive plays. I was proud of Cam Kraft. I thought he did some really good things on defense. Kawasi, he hit a big shot after struggling. I'm really proud of Peyton Marshall. He's put in a lot of work. He's lost a lot of weight. And I think that he showed exactly who he can be long term. And then, everybody getting a chance to see Mo. And I think that Mo is just going to continue to get better. Personally, I think that we had the best front court, not only in our league. I think we got one of the best front courts, if not the best one in the country. I really believe that. And Biden didn't even play. And I think that you've seen the way they played together, the buddy ball, the different things. And, to ask those guys to play the minutes, nobody on our team, nobody's played these type of minutes. So, to come out here and to get this run, and to blow it out, but then to get the win at the same time, it was huge. So, you can always take more from a win like this than winning by 30 points. Yes, you didn't want the anxiety of the game, but at the same time too, right out the gate, it put us in a state where we got to be locked in, and it gives us something to go and work on as we move forward and get ready for Friday.
I think a lot of tonight too was just so many new guys playing together for the first time. It might just be like that for the first 2-3 weeks of the season.
Well, you can blame it on that, or we can blame it on that. We can use it as a built-in excuse. But again, I think that some of it is getting a feel for each other, but then some of it is that, and I really believe it, sometimes you don't really understand until you get into a game. You can't take anything for granted. You got to come out. You got to play the right way. We turn the ball over, and I've been saying this to anybody that would listen. If we're playing with, 10 turnovers or less, we're gonna win every game. Tonight we had 13, and to me, a lot of them were unforced, and we got to cut that out, And the biggest thing each and every game is understanding assignment, and guys understanding that we don't need home runs. We need singles and doubles. We don't need the spectacular play. We need to keep it simple. So, I don't want to put it on that, but I do believe that it's something to it. But I'm not going to sit here and use that as an excuse of why it looked like it did.
Last time we talked to you, you said you're going to hang your hat on defense, and I think tonight it was pretty obvious to everyone that has watched your team over the years that this may be the best defense you've put out there on the floor. They really went after it tonight. What was your evaluation of that?
That's how we want to play. Our practices look a lot like that. We're up the floor a lot. We play a lot of bodies. Really want to wear guys out. Right now there's not a whole lot of separation with guys. So, you got to utilize everybody. And I thought that everybody that stepped in the game had their moments. and you're trying to find out what combinations play well together. You're trying to find out, who can play under the bright lights. So, getting up the floor is a great way. We had 13 steals in this game. I don't know if we've had that before. So I was proud of our team for that. One of the biggest things that stand out, what I'm disappointed, and I say this a lot, I'm disappointed, our guards got to rebound better, though. We do a bad job of watching our bigs do all the work. Like, the one thing about our team, and I have said it loud, and I've said it clear, and so it's nothing that anybody wouldn't know as you even watch the game. I love the fact that I'm able to coach these guys, but our guards, we got to understand the assignment. If we just don't turn that ball over, and it's only one game, so we got a long ways to go, and they'll get better. Guys will emerge, different things. You got Wasey and Cam out there, but I'm just telling you, you got a front line that I'm glad people seen these guys play, the way they play. And then there's one, like I say, a guy that wasn't even playing. Biden didn't play, and Lamar Washington didn't play as well. And we have an opportunity, and so guys have to see it as an opportunity. And so sometimes in seeing it as an opportunity for the team's success, you got to humble yourself to just make the right play sometime. Two things that I've told the team all during practices, we will really look at the hockey assists. The hockey assist means something to me because that means you're playing the right way. And our off-ball defense got to be on point. Like, if you can't play off-ball, if you're not good off-ball defensively, that means most of the time you're not talking, you're not helping, you're not communicating. It happened a couple times tonight, but overall it was pretty good. But yes, in times like this, the difference again in this year's team and last year's team is that we are able to get up the floor. We are able to do some different things. And we got more bodies, and in fairness as well. We got way more bodies. But it does feel good to have options.
Kind of a two-part question. Do you have any idea how long By's going to be out? And then with him out, how big is it to have that depth, that like you said, you hadn't had, in the past few years?
We look to get him back on Friday. So, it's one of them things where, as a coach, you cringe when you don't have a guy like that out there on the floor, because with By and Wasey, they give you they give me a comfort zone. But the depth was really good. I mean, Mo is Mo. Mo did that. He's been doing that since he got here. But I was really impressed with Peyton. You didn't get a chance to see Cole as much, but Peyton really played well. I was happy for him. He did a lot of good things, and he fought through fatigue. He's a big old boy now. So he fought through fatigue and did a lot of good things, and he got a nice touch at the free throw line. I was actually surprised he missed that free throw. He makes all his free throws. Nothing about that was fluke. He makes his free throws. He's always done that.
Imagine you're pretty happy that Kouassi's has that shooter's mentality. I think he was maybe 1 for 9 from 3 before he hit that game winner. So he kept on shooting, and you knew eventually they would start to drop.
Yeah, no, he's in a good space, and he had one rattle in and out, and he took good shots. Those a lot of the shots, and we didn't shoot the ball that well, but we probably took a couple bad ones, but a lot of the shots, man, were good shots. We I felt we got what we wanted, but when the ball doesn't go in, at times I think it can give players anxiety. And you get a little tight, you get a little nervous. But again, to the credit of even Wasey, The stuff Wasey did defensively, he didn't do before. Let's be honest. He really got better defensively. He fought down there. He got steals. He was active, had active hands. And so he did a good job. And, yes, I am happy. You know, he has a shooter mentality because he didn't blink, didn't think, shot it, went right in.
Anything else for Coach? Alex?
Obviously, you talked about Mo leading up the season, going to play a lot. Did you kind of envision these other freshmen playing as much as they did tonight? Do you kind of feel comfortable with them on the court? Have they kind of earned that?
You know, I went a little deeper just trying to find something. You know what I mean? After a while, you just got to try to find something. You know, you can't really – you know, I came in and I was going to play everybody, you know, but, you know, I'd be lying and I didn't think I was going to have to play everybody this way, you know. But the guys that played, they earned it and they just have to continue to improve, you know, because they can help. They can help. I think Akai can help. He didn't shoot the ball that well, but, you know, I think that he has to get a little more involved and lost in the little things, and I think he will. As a freshman, I think he's trying to feel his way out, but he'll be better. You know, I thought Chatfield came in and did some good things. You know, he made a three. I thought he was up in his guy. He did some really good things, and, you know, we're going to be good because we have a lot of depth. And I say this as well, you know, it's just his numbers right here. You know, you forget that Mo hasn't played a lot of basketball over here in the United States. He's only been over here for 1 year, and he went to postgrad. And so he's still learning as well. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, you get, you know, there's not too many freshmen that's going to get 15 rebounds in their first game. That might be a record. Somebody got more than that in their first game as a freshman? That has to be some type of record. So, but yeah, you know, those guys will get better. But I was happy. I was happy with with the contributions of the guys coming off the bench, the freshmen that is.
Okay, Rod, if you want to wrap this up.
When you look at Jaden, second year, and you talk about, you know, people scout you a little more now that they know who you are, it seemed like it took him a half before he started to assert himself and really get into the game, especially, you know, defensively and trying to, you know, make his way to the hoop, which he really didn't do in that first half. You know, what did you see from him?
Well, I think, you know, I felt like he was pressing offensively. That was, you know, I just, you know, again, like I tell all these guys, and, you know, man, you got to get lost in other things in the game. You know, you can't base your value on scoring the ball. And it wasn't, you know, he didn't take a lot of shots, but it's just saying, he has to get more comfortable, you know, out there on the floor. I think that going into your sophomore year, and I told Bai this as well last year, you know, it's the hardest year because you go from the bottom of the scouting report to the top of the scouting report. So they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, and that's how they play you. And so he has to figure those things out. And again, I think he'll go back to work, and, you know, he'll watch the film, and, you know, we'll go over some things. But, you know, for me, man, I'm just, you know, I'm looking forward to guys just, you know, and just being open to, again, you're going to hear me say this a lot, understanding the assignment. Like, we got a team that has a chance to be special. I promise you that. I'm with these guys every day. And so as we continue to build and get better as the season goes on, we're going to need Jaden, and we're going to need Chaz and guys like that. They got to be good for us. You know, they don't have to, again, hit home runs, but they got to be good for us. They got to single and double every single game.
Okay. Coach, thank you.
All right.